Testing. Good morning. As you are, you're welcome here. Visitor, friend, or longtime member, you're welcome here. With little children or your partner or alone, we joyfully welcome you here. You're welcome here as believer or doubter or joiner or lover or loner. Excuse me. You're, you're welcome here. Fading a part of us or not, full of energy or not, seeking a vision or a rest, you're welcome to join us as you are. We acknowledge we're in the original territories of the Salish, Nez Perce, Blackfeet, and Anishinaabe people who shared the Helena Valley as hunting grounds. The indigenous story of the Helena Valley began long before the arrival of Europeans. We honor those who walked here before us. We honor the path they have shown us in caring for this place for generations to come. We strive for justice and fair relations with their descendants. We have a special guest speaker, Haley McKnight, and she's going to help us with the chalice lighting.
Good morning. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our guest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together.
Please stand as you're able for the opening hymn, which is on page 170. gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. The book we're going to see is called Just Help, and it's by Sonia Sotomayor, Sotomayor, and it's on justice. And since she's a justice of the Supreme Court, that makes it especially nice. Because it's small group Sunday, we're only going to do a 2-minute segment of the whole book, because the whole book is a little bit longer. But it's the story of how her mother helped raise her with a sense of justice and the idea that we're all here to help each other.
Sonia climbed into bed, and her mother asked, "Sonia, how did you help today?" Sonia thought about the service project for the soldiers, recycling the plastic bags, cleaning up the playground, and voting with Mommy. But she also remembered the bus driver who brought her to school safely, the postal workers who delivered the packages to the soldiers, the poll workers who guided voters, and her friends who helped in big ways and small. We all helped each other, Sonia said. As Sonia closed her eyes, she imagined everything she did was like the yarn and the blanket her grandmother had made for her. It tied Sonia to everyone around her, even people that she did not know, each one inspiring the next, knitting together a community that was safer, cleaner, wiser, healthier, and kinder. Like Sonia, her friends and her neighbors, when we all do our part, we all have a good answer to Mammy's question, how will you help today?
Now we'll sing the children out. Thank you for your gifts this day and for all the gifts of action that make this community possible. If you're visiting, please remain our guest. Your presence is your gift to us.
Haley McKnight, and I do a lot of things in town, but at least personally and professionally, I don't know. I run Sage and Oats Trading Post. I am an employee of 406 Recycling, and then I'm also a member of our small Jewish community here in Helena. Our reading today is 463, and it's by Adrian Rich. My heart is moved by all I cannot save. So much has been destroyed. I have to cast my lot with those who, age after age, perversely, with no extraordinary power, reconstitute the world. Absolutely. My heart is moved by all I cannot save. So much has been destroyed. I have to cast my lot with those who, age after age, perversely, with no extraordinary power, reconstitute the world. I love that one. So today, I'm going to be talking about it's a word in Hebrew. It's tikkun olam, or a phrase in Hebrew. It's tikkun olam, and it's kind of a joke in Jewish circles, at least. There was a sight gag in the movie Between the Temples last year, where the rabbi's license plate was tikkun olam, and it means repairing the world, which I find very powerful. So as a convert, I used to tell people I'm Jewish, but I don't know the words yet. Hebrew is a really complex and beautiful language that's very difficult if you're a native English speaker to kind of wrap your head around. It's read from right to left, and it's a whole different alphabet. And having spent most of my life removed from Judaism, I stumbled a lot, but my dear friend Julie, she's helped me learn the prayers, and they've gotten easier. Just don't ask me to sing them. I can't sing them. This is the language that my ancestors spoke, and the more I learn them, the more they feel like home. Some of you might know that we've got a lot of texts in Judaism, and so Tikkun Olam, its first appearance is in the Mishnah, which is a body of classical rabbinic teachings compiled in the 3rd century CE. And in the Mishnah, the phrase is used when discussing issues of social policy. So you're making laws or decisions, and it ensures the safeguard of those who may be at a disadvantage of those decisions. And so in modern Jewish circles, Tikkun Olam is synonymous with the notion of social action and the pursuit of social justice. And that's where, this translation of repairing the world comes from. I was raised in North Carolina in the Moravian Church. Most people haven't ever heard of it. It's the oldest Protestant denomination. It predates Martin Luther by about 70 years. And it's an egalitarian faith. Its guiding principles are simplicity, happiness, unintrusiveness, fellowship, and the ideal of service. And service is indivisible from the Moravian ethic. And having grown up in that faith, it's indivisible from my identity. My dad, hi Dad, he's watching the stream. He's the poster child for Moravian service ethic. He gets up early every Sunday, just so freaking jazzed to go run the soundboard during church services. He's got a pen behind his ear, an iPad in his lap, and he is just conducting the microphones like Leonard Bernstein. He's done this every single Sunday with few exceptions for my entire life. This is where most people in our community see him, but my dad also has this deep passion for young people, and he has helped organize, lead, and driven the kids of the Moravian church that he goes to mission camp every summer. And so once classes were done in June, my dad would packed the activity bus with me and a bunch of other teenagers, and we'd all head into the mountains of North Carolina to sacrifice a week of our hard-won summer break to do things like build access ramps for people's homes and clear kudzu out of outbuildings on old farms and relocate wasps' nests from little old ladies' garages. And as a 13-year-old, it was a total drag. I hated it. I didn't understand it. But in the church, it's expected. There's this unspoken expectation that you spend your free time helping in any way that you're called to. I complained a lot that my friends got to go to YMCA camp and they got to ride zip lines, and I was eating soup on an old farmer's porch and trapping feral cats. And so after a while, my parents got sick of me complaining, and they sent me to a regular kind of sleepaway camp. And you know what I hated more than building access ramps was regular sleepaway camp. I remember just crying in my bunk and just feeling kind of shiftless. And I was like, what am I supposed to be doing here? I'm swimming and hiking and doing crafts, but why don't I have a hammer in my hand like my dad does? Why don't I have one like Jesus did? And so I kind of put that in the back of my mind for many years. And then when I moved to Montana in the summer of 2017, I took a position as an AmeriCorps Vista member. I'm sure a lot of you have probably met Vista members or other AmeriCorps members. But if you don't know what they are, the program was designed, or Vista was designed in the 80s as a way to connect underserved nonprofits and government entities to college grads who essentially, give them a year of discounted skilled labor. And so but they very emphatically told me I could not hold a hammer. That was the job of the direct service folks, and I was not one of those. So my assignment was redesigning the school food service system in Butte. And for a year and a half, I made less than minimum wage. I was on food stamps. I couldn't pay my heating bills, and there was a huge crack in my bedroom window, and you know how cold Butte gets. And every single day I got up and I went to work, and I watched the poorest kids in my school district get healthier. They were on food stamps too, and their parents were having an even harder time than I was keeping themselves fed. The work I did was mostly due to the incredible people in that district, and by the time 2020 rolled around, with what we built, just about every kid in that school district was eating for free because we got up and we did the work. And while I was in Butte, I made a lot of friends in places that I didn't expect, and I met Kim. I lived above her, and she's a little shell woman, and she practices owl medicine, and she does talking circles for the community. And later, when I moved to Helena, I met my friends Louise and Donna, and they do art therapy classes and sweat lodge and ceremony at the VA, and 3 different pipe carriers, Major, Mario, and Chelsea, all from different tribes. And they all taught me how to smudge to prepare my heart for the work that I was doing every day. And they told me about residential schools and the dams that took the salmon from the people, and about their ancestors who fled from army camps in the 1800s barefoot across snow and frozen rivers to get home, and about their loved ones who were waterkeepers and trying to get their land back. And I watched all of them show up for their people as a matter of course. It was not asked of them, they just did it. And so when Major hired me 3 years ago, he and his wife, Michelle, emphasized that their store, which was my new responsibility, my current responsibility, existed to help Native people make a fair living off of what they made. That our platform, as the only Native-owned retail business in Helena, is intentional in its pursuit of justice for Native people and education for people who have maybe never met a Native person in their life. And so the thread that I began to pick up was intentionality. Making things right and making things just is you have to do it thoughtfully and you have to do it constantly. And in my life, I've run with plenty of different groups that tend to contradict one another. I count among my friends Black nationalists and county sheriffs, climate scientists and cattle ranchers, devout Muslims and Southern Baptists, Jack Mormons and Jewish witches, people whose families fled dictatorships in the 80s, and people whose families have lived here for thousands of years. And while you might not think that these people would have any commonality, I love and appreciate them all for exactly the same reason, which is that they all believe the same thing, that this earth, these people are our collective responsibility, and it's our duty to take care of them and fight for them. And some of you have probably been up to the legislature this season, whether you're working or testifying or protesting, and it's kind of a beautiful thing to me, because you see all of that come together. And when I began reframing my thoughts and centering this concept of world repair, the act of speaking to our elected representatives in these issues became joyful. Like, of course I have to do this. It's my obligation and it's also my privilege. There are so many people who don't have the ability to make it to our capital, but I live here in Helena and I can go testify on my lunch break. I can shake the hand of a person who would be my enemy and find common ground. But it's not easy. It's not. It takes courage, and it takes planning, and it takes time, and the kind of ego death that most people need drugs or severe embarrassment to accomplish. But I persist. Just keep going. Because that difficulty, it's not grounds for a cop-out. I believe that if you have the ability to stand up for those who need you, you need to show up in any way that you possibly can. Because tikkun olam, it's not a single action. Justice isn't a single action. They mean nothing if they're not paired with commitment. And they're just a way that you wake up and you choose to live every day. That's all I got for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Haley. You've given us some good ideas for our small group discussion. Justice is one of our shared values, and if you remember, the first Sunday of every month we talk about one of our shared values. So we're going to grow into 5 groups. So we're going to count to 5, like 1, Haley's 1, Matt is 2, Cass? 3, 4, 5. Okay, great. Somebody could always use the fireside room, but just for starters, we have the 1s here, the 2s back there. How about the 3s there, the 4s here, and then 5 in the fireside. How does that sound? And we've got 3 questions to talk about, and I will be your timekeeper. Oh, I forgot something most important to go over the rules. We have rules, but they're really good ones. You can read them. Okay, good, great, thank you. Okay, let's do this. nothing. Okay. here we are.
All right. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Okay, that ends our broadcast. And now how about